Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hello, my lovelies, my beauties, my royalties. Take that deep breath and oh my God. Okay, I know I'm recording ahead of time, on time, whatever. My channel is as messy as my life. I have no idea what order majority of these episodes are going to be. I know, like, about a month ago, I made a mistake and put part two before part one. It is what it is. That's my, yeah, my life. And I am going through heartbreak and while trying to start my business, while gaining my independence back, while going pretty hardcore with physical therapy. And now every time I think about, now I gotta lift more weights, but I lift weight. Every time I think about Mr. Spider, I lift weights. But I'm gonna try to continue that because part of me, I'm like, why only do that during the heartbreak? So now, even if I don't think about him, when I think about my goals and how I'm going to get there, and or all of the years people tell me I can't do things, so it's like slowly as I stop thinking about him and start thinking about who I want to be, so that way I can continue. And I've been watching and listening to so many nutritionists, like no, like it's been politics, it's been nutritionists, small business, and that like those have been majority of the YouTube videos that I've been watching, and or like true crime and stuff on Netflix and documentaries. I rewatched the one about that cruise ship where the people had to get the red bags. Ooh, yeah, and then I watched a lot of true crime and stuff like that. So like everything from catfishing to elimination and yeah. So, but check out my Patreon. I just uploaded some more of the pictures. Do you know how many men have told, like, they try to match, or first they match with me because, of course, they had to match with me for me to be able to respond. But actually, no, some of them tried to because Facebook dating and some of the others, you don't have to in order to, But do you know how many of these guys, like, right after the match, they're out of state or whatever, or they're far away in your state? Oh, so when are you gonna come and see me? When are you gonna drive to Vegas? When are you gonna come to Texas? When are you gonna come to California? When are you gonna drive to Ohio? When and it's just like, hold on. I don't even know you. This is like the first conversation. The first because I just uploaded one of the examples because that happened at least 20 times last year. At least I want to say 20 to 50. Do you know how many of these? Because especially in the dating world, yeah, there's nobody in my state. They're like, yeah. Because even when I trusted Mr. Spider, the entire time he was a lie. Like, I'm like, if he was a liar, then who the crap am like? Hmm. Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, this is gonna be a little bit of dating nightmares, politics, power, the patriarchy, kind of all of the episodes together combined. Yeah. Because it's interesting with the two people that just passed away this past weekend, or well, quote unquote, yeah, because there's rumors about one of them. We all know who did, because like Mitch McConnell and everything. It's just like, oh, okay, and everybody saying, I spoke for 20 minutes. I spoke for 20 minutes. Yeah, there's the magic of numbers and the psychology of numbers. And then one of them even tried to sneak out the 17 part. It's interesting with the numbers they picked. And I don't mean like some people are like, oh, magic. I don't believe in, I don't, not literal magic. But when someone says something and they put out numbers, yeah, yeah. Because even for example, I just said 20. I know it's not exactly 20, but I know it was around 20. But the fact that I said 20, but just the thought that, so especially when it comes to a phone call, yeah. And like an hour to most people is long, and a half hour is, but 20 minutes is reasonable. So when you think about numbers and time and numbers and averages and things like that, and also, like, if someone said, "Yeah, I spoke for 5 minutes," that's just like, "Oh, okay." You said, "Hey, how are you?" Blah, blah, blah. But once you get 20 minutes, that means you got deep into something. That means you really talked and spoke about something. And so when people say, "Oh, I spoke for like 20 minutes," that's like, "Oh, you got into depth. Okay, you did talk to that person." It was more than just a hi, hello, how are you? So that's what, like, when I say the magic of numbers, numbers are symbolic in so many ways. And that's why even in my novel, you have to pay attention to the numbers. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna type, and like, because even time. But anyway, anyway, let's talk about power and the patriarchy, because I'm gonna be. Oh, I need to start uploading all of these and organizing everything, because there's so many videos where I'm like, oh, yeah, I was supposed to attach this to an episode and I didn't. But at least I'm going to have the proof. At least I'm going to have articles and things like that with the episodes. But yeah, yeah. That's been kind of how my life's been lately. I have a lot to talk about. And I have my close friend, but it's like we've both been so busy to the point where it's just like, and especially she's been helping me deal with the lying no good ex, and more stuff has happened. You won't believe what he, because now, yeah, let's just say now I've got to do some things that, yeah, hmm yeah. But I, like, one thing is like, yeah, the gossip channel started coming up, and I don't know if that's because of some of the crime videos that I've been watching, but it kind of reminds me of one of the reasons why I really want to start my channel. And I know I've said this on and off several times, and even to Mr. Spider, I said it so many times, but till this day, it hurts me that he was like, "You treat your trauma like your armor." Well, at least I'm strong enough to have it as armor and not going to be some kind of weakling that can't open up and talk and speak. So many men always say women are so emotional when they can't even open up, they can't even talk. Ever since the breakup and then getting back on dating apps, like, men, like, I'm realizing that one reason why I keep getting hurt is because I'm very emotionally intimate, and it's like I just learned about this like a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, and I've been doing more research into it, and I'm like, this is why exes keep calling me, because I've been so open. But so many men use my openness to my demise. They use it as a weapon against me. And I guess that's one reason I use it as my armor, because if I'm going to open up to you, I got to be ready. I got to hold it up as a shield, because I know my truth. I know what I've been through. And that's one reason why I say some things people aren't going to like. I see patterns, and I go by research. I go by patterns now because of how much I've been hurt. And for so many men who say, "And you didn't know this guy was going to do this? And you don't know this guy was like," because, like, talking to one male friend who all of a sudden called, like, yeah, so many men, I don't know, it's like they pick up when a woman gets single. They're like, "Oh, it's time to torment her again." But with Mr. Spider, how did you not know? You didn't know this was going to happen? You're not surprised? Remember, you have a disability, so you have to keep hounding. Have to keep talking. And I'm like, I did, but you didn't do a good enough job. And I'm like, why am I getting blamed? when he was the one that lied. He was the one that used me, but I'm the victim. But I am now being blamed for him being able to lie to me. How am I supposed to know? Like, I saw some red flags, but then I kept going in. But then, how am I supposed to know when he keeps coming over to my house? He keeps saying he's having date night. He keeps wanting to cook and volunteer and do, like, always offer, always do. And he did things that other guys thought I wasn't worth, you know? Because even when he bought me the Yesteryear book, which I'm still like, out of all books, it's like, you don't like religion and Christianity. And I've told you other books I want. And see, this is why I'm like, this is why I wear armor. Because some men, they don't listen, they don't pay attention, and or they only listen to the parts they don't like. They only pay attention to things that, the reasons why, oh, I want to break up with her. I picked up on this. I heard this. Those instead of asking questions and digging deep. So many men do that. I've noticed now, especially Spider and No Heart, because at the beginning of No Heart relationship, I told him I plan to adopt. I plan to foster. And he was like, "Oh, that's cool, and yeah, that's amazing. You have a big heart." But then he used it against me later on in the relationship. Once he knew my walking was getting worse, once he saw my self esteem was getting, like, because my parents are still blaming me, people are still calling me a liar, doctors are telling me go home, lose weight, and they weigh more than me. They're older than me. I'm to the point where I'm like, what? I'm getting worse. Yeah. All of a sudden, in the middle of the relationship, he threatens me. It's like, oh, if you try to adopt, I'm breaking up with you. If you try to foster, I'm breaking up with you. And I'm like, we're not getting married. I'm gonna adopt. Well, no, I already have my mistakes. He kept calling his own daughter's mistakes. But he went, and that's the power. Like, some men only date me for power, especially with my disability. They want the power over me. And I'm so open and like intimate with them with that, because part of me, I'm just like, a relationship should be embracing of each other's lives and understanding and knowing each other as best friends. And being best friends, you shouldn't be scared to open up. So when once I feel like I have a connection with somebody, that's what I've done. But over the last 6 weeks, my name is Joe, and I don't know. I try to talk as brief as possible. And when they ask, what are you doing today? Oh, I'm just working on stuff. What are you working on? Oh, just stuff. No, but what stuff? Just stuff. Like, what are you doing? No, no, tell me. I'm not like, and then some of them get attitude with me. But then I'm asking them what they're doing. Oh, I'm just laying down. Oh, okay. So it's like, what do you want to talk about? Oh, no, but it's like, I still wouldn't know what you're doing. And I'm kind of realizing how, because two men have told me over the last, no, was it three? Two or three guys have told me over the last 2 weeks that I open up so well. They don't have conversations with women like they do me. But I see why I always get my heart broken, because I open up so much. And okay, just with that, men use that as weakness. Men use that as power. And like I was saying, one reason why I start my channel. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Yeah, babies, get that boiling, scorching hot patty tea, babies. It's like, if you like it cold, hold the ice, because the ice is a hot mess in these streets. I'm so sorry. Yeah, yes, but let's use this with politics. Let's use this outside of even dating. Because when you look at the, like, even remembering what I did those episodes about Joy Behar. I hope I put them in the right order. If I didn't, stay tuned because some of it you're not gonna like what I say. But black women, I think black women are gonna understand where I'm coming from because I agree with Joy Behar because this country is still drowning in bigotry. We are like, it's like we know about Project 2025, we know about the racism, we know about the fight. So as and I mentioned how to me Kamala Harris, one reason she lost is because she held up like Joe Biden, President Joe Biden, or former President Joe Biden, as a white man armor, as her shield, but he wasn't going to carry her over the threshold, especially while people are like, they see her color, they see she's a female, but she didn't want to voice her opinion and voice her her input. And I just watched a video where this one jerk of it, like, he has a disability, he's a comedian or whatever, but he had the nerve to call Kamala Harris stupid. She wasn't like, she knew everything that ended up happening. She warned us, her and Biden both warned us. And but people love calling black women stupid. People love calling black women low IQ. But the most educated demographic in this country, black women. And a lot of people who are trying to start their own small businesses, but they have a real big issue because, yeah, banks don't want to give us, yeah, the trouble that we go through, the racism, the sexism that we go through. And then I go through ableism as well, but it's the power. White able bodied men, white people don't understand their privilege and the power that they hold, especially white men. White men don't understand, like now with history and what the civil rights, oh my gosh. Look at the picture that's going around about the baby, you know, I'm, anyway, is let's just say the Republicans are showing us the type of diversity they want to see. Yeah, they are. They are. Because was it Mitch McConnell who even said, like, he was boasting and proud during one interview about one of the wars that the right people are dying. All lives matter, right? But he kept, the right people are dying. Mm, the power. Yeah. Anyway. But I talk about my dating life and the guys that I've met because they show the power of this country and the tricks and what they're willing to do to deceive, the lies. Like a lot of the patterns that I've seen with these men, I've seen in politics. And it's like they'll say one thing, but then go in, like, we look at the orange man. He lied too. Like, but then MAGA still says he never lies. He doesn't lie. He's a Christian man. Oh, he's the next coming of God. And like even with the reflection pool, oh, people damage it. No, you hire somebody to paint it American blue, and then that activated, like, okay, we really need a science lesson. We really, like, yeah. But the power he has over the 30% of this country, the power he has, especially because 30% of this country, they are hanging on to that white power, that white privilege. The reason he didn't say a thing about white supremacists walking around on 4th of July. The reason why during that debate years ago, right before January 6th, he said step down and all that other stuff. Yeah, but he didn't go against them. He didn't go against them. Then he said, there's good and bad on both sides. Like, if you don't listen to the pattern, if you don't listen to the pattern during Black Lives Matter, when he told one of the security people to aim at their legs, there's patterns within the power. There's patterns with what these people are saying. You have to pay attention to everything. Oh, when he said black jobs, and then how a lot of these white farmers, while their Hispanic workers are being deported, they were looking at us. They were looking at black people to fill the positions, and they were upset because we're not. They were upset because we're not just going to jump on a bus and go and work for them. But then some of them fired some of the black people because when the white South Africans came, they not only fired the black and Hispanics, they hired the white South Africans and paid them more. So we have to pay attention. We really need to pay attention to what is going on around us. The power is like, I see how he won. I see the inequality. And because all I have to do is look at my dating past. Mr. No Heart's mom, the only reason you got into college is because you're black, while her son, at least like yeah, I mean, her son, Mr. No Heart, he dropped out or got kicked out. I still don't know which one. It's like it sounds like he invited himself out, but he always gave excuses of why he didn't pass or why his projects weren't good enough, blah blah blah. But then even dating white men, which is one reason I have a standard for dating is because many so many men period, because even just the patriarchy period, all men have had a issue. They've had an issue with my education. And then they want to put me down. It's like, yeah, I wanted kids, but I wanted to be married. I wanted to trust the man I was going to have the kids with. So, in a way, it's a blessing, but it's a curse at the same time. And I do see reasons why the divorce rate is the way that it is. And I'm going to have so many episodes on that. Because, one, with women, yeah, we're on a clock. We've got a limited amount of eggs, time, and everything. So hormones, everything like that. But still, we gotta pick quickly if we want those kids. And with men, they're much more physical attraction. And that's another reason why, like after Mr. No Heart, yeah. And then now with Mr. Spider gone, good and gone, like the way he lied to me, like you do not know how pissed I am with him, how upset and disappointed and disgusted. Like I don't even see him as a human being anymore, which is probably one reason why I call him Mr. Spider. Yeah, he's a crawling nightmare. So, but it's really sad with the just power period. Because back to the Orange Man with McConnell and like both had met the gentleman or gentlemen. They're not gentlemen. They weren't gentlemen. My bad. But both of these men were warning society about the Orange Man. Both of these men were saying, or putting him down, saying the truth about him. But once they smelled power, and I've talked about this in other episodes, but power and capitalism in America, it's like it's it's toxic as the reflection pool. So yeah, it represents so much to us right now in this country. Sadly, as that sounds, but when it comes to the two men who passed away, the change. They went like at first they were fighting against him and speaking truth. They saw him. But then they looked in the mirror and they were like, but the power looks good. Especially after the first, term. They were seeing people come and go and everything, and they were like, huh, yeah. And then, they saw the power, like, okay, so as long as I do as he says, I'm gonna get more power. I'm gonna get more eyes on me. I'm gonna get more attention. I'm gonna have the opportunity to have more money. Mm. But now they're both past. They can't take that money. They can't take their egos or popularity with them. These are Christian people, but sometimes I wonder, like, once you pass, what did you leave behind? How are people like? How are people gonna remember you? And this is one reason why it's like I've told men, but then yeah, they just. So I've kind of realized I need to stop saying this. But I don't date based off of wallets or how much money you have. It's like the only reason I added education is because so many men without higher education, they say I'm stupid for going to college, or a woman is not supposed to, or I'm trying to be stuck up. I'm supposed to be like a white girl. I'm trying. They say I'm supposed to, or I'm trying to be, or some say I'm supposed to because I'm lighter complexion and blah blah blah. I've heard so many things to the point where my ears are tired of the toxicity. My ears, I need a break, especially with dating. So, but then when I put that standard and men read that and they see that, the hate that I get because now I'm having power over my life. I'm having power over my expectations of who is going to be able to cross that, like basically collect the $200 on the Monopoly board when it comes to dating. I'll swipe right once I see that you might not be a danger for me, because I will not date a conservative or Republican or a MAGA or Orange Man supporter. Men put in so many ways. I'm not conservative. I'm a Republican. Okay. Okay, so you're still on the right. No, but I'm not oh, no, no. You're on the right. No. Oh, that's stupid. That's dumb. Mm. And then I've dated enough men that's been in prison. I have. I've dated enough men that's been in prison. And but a lot of men, they try to wait. Like, I've already had one guy who I matched with, and we're talking, and he kept, saying something about 8 years ago, 8 years ago. I'm like, oh yeah, what happened in between those 8 years? Yeah, he was in prison. I was like, oh, okay, why didn't you say this from the start? Which kind of reminds me about the one guy that's on the spectrum I talked about in another episode. He decided to tell me after the date that he was in the insane asylum twice and different things, but he said he wanted to make sure that he had me. He wanted me to be his girlfriend before he told me this. So a lot of men want power. A lot of men are going to do anything and everything to convince you. And I'm probably going to need, well, it'll be another episode, but so many men have told me women should have paid attention better. Women should have noticed. Women should have, gotten to know him. Women should have, okay, like, have they paid attention to what's going on around us? Have they paid attention to why we choose the bear? They keep blaming women when the men, they're hungry for power and hungry to hide their truth. Like, oh, it's sad. Thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman. I am of color, and I am handy capable. But most importantly, I am human, and you're human too.